Now what I've done is blacksmithing had to come in here somehow, so this is a swedge block. I actually used it to be the first thing to hold that one end piece in place, and then from that one I then put this clamp in to hold the side to the end, and then I put that side in to the end, and then I brought this end in and fit it in between the side pieces and clamped it. Then I pulled the structure together with these bar clamps to pull everything nice and tight. I've got one on this side, and there's another bar clamp on this side, and that pulls everything in tight. Now you can do the same thing with a rope and a stick. You can wrap a rope all the way around the outside, tie it in a knot so that it's a loop, put a stick in the rope and start twisting, and then that will pull the structure together and make it nice and tight. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked center line here. I've come up 2.5 inches off the bottom. That'll give me a nice spot here. Alright, drill this side. Same thing. Keep the drill level. Square to the work. Clear the wood chips out. And that's just peeking out the other side. Change drill bits. This is about 20 thousandths larger than a 1/4 inch, so that's actually still pretty tight. So this will go through. And reassemble. And carriage bolt goes through. Put the 2 washers on. And carry the wing nuts. And I'll go ahead and finish the other side, and then the far side of the forge, and I'll set it on the ground. Okay, here it is, standing on its own feet for the very first time. Now you can get a real good view of inside. The floorboards are going to lay on this shelf and go across to this side, so the floorboards are going to go side to side like that. Well, it's been a couple of days since I've had a chance to get out here and work. I replaced the carriage bolts with 5/16. The 1/4 inch just looked too small. I think the 5/16 look a lot better, and they're going to do probably a much better job. I have the floorboards here. Those are rough cut to size. So once I get in there, I'm going to trim those down to 24 inches long so that they fit down inside my forge here, so that they will rest then on that shelf and this shelf, and I will trim them to the proper width. I'll have to go double check my drawing to get the correct width, but once I get the correct width done, I will rip them down to the correct width, cut them to the correct length, and we will drop those in the forge here, and I'll show you doing one, and then I'll have 5 more to go on my own. Okay, we're going to trim these to a rough dimension of 26 inches, and that'll cut off the rough cut side here, and then we'll flip them all around and we'll cut them to the correct distance of 24 inches. The stop here has been set to 24 inches, so I just back this up, take my lumber, find my good cut side, my rough cut side, flip it around, and line it up to the stop, and we'll trim these all off to the proper dimension. Alright, first I'm going to rip these down to 5 inches. I've already put in a ripping blade. These have much wider space between the teeth so that the wood can rip easier. I'm going to use 2 push blocks, and I'm just going to push them right off the back side of the table. I'll pick them up over there later. So let's get to start cutting these to width. I've readjusted the fence to 4 inches 735 thousandths. That's just a little bit smaller than our 4 3/4, and that'll allow a little bit of room for the boards to wiggle as they go down inside the forge, and to leave just a little bit of play. Maybe they'll expand a little bit, moisture, whatever. So let's get these cut to the final dimension. And there we go. Floor is in, and all I need to do now is to paint it and to bore a hole for the tweer, and we'll be ready to go. The sand will easily fill any of these little cracks that I've left in here on purpose. And I did have to bevel the corners down here on the floorboards, put a little 45-degree chamfer on it so it would clear the head bolts, the heads of the bolts, but that was just a minor detail. So now I just happen to know which are always going to be the end boards, and then everything else just lays in here. I could probably get up and dance a jig. This is plenty strong, and that doesn't need to happen. We're going to fill this with dirt about halfway, and then make a nice bowl out of the dirt, and then we'll build our fire up, maybe looking in from the side, build the fire up maybe about that high, and then we'll work the fire straight in from the side. That's the way you always want to work your fire. You never want to angle your work down into the forge. That just gets you right next to the air blast and too much oxygen, and you'll burn your steel. So you always want to work horizontal to the work, or to the forge. So we'll work right across the top, and that'll give me about a 3-inch deep fire pit here for the coal ashes, or the charcoal to burn right here. And then we'll make it come up a little bit high. You always want to mound, and then you always want to work down the middle. So I think this is going to work out just great. It was been a fun little project. So this is just about done. All I really need to do now is, like I said, paint it, and I will drill the hole for the tweer so we can get some air in there, and then we'll give her a try. And one more thing I need to build here is going to be the water-cooled tweer, which will also double as a quench tank for this forge. So until then, get it hot and hit it hard. This is Cal Blacksmith saying have a good day.